Hello, Big Sound, how are we? Rise and shine, happy Thursday. Thank you for coming. Got a few things, so I'll just pop her down. Welcome to our In Conversation today, Return to the Roots in Convo with Tash Sultana. My name's Bridget Hustwaite, lovely to see you all. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land as well, the Yugara and Turrbal people, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. It is an absolute honour for me to be facilitating this conversation with an artist I actually first had correspondence with around this time 10 years ago. I was the EP of Sin's Australian music show called The Hoist, and I was arranging an interview for two of my hosts at the time to highlight a song that was out at that time, a song called Brainflower, and the interview aired, what's the date today, the 4th? The interview aired on the 1st of September 2015. And here we are a decade later, and Tash Sultana has plenty to reflect on. We're talking sold out headline shows, arenas, festival stages right across the globe, ARIA Award and chart success, of course, Hottest 100 and J Award success, a very casual 1 billion Spotify streams, and acclaimed business ventures with the launch of Lonely Land's agency, Lonely Land Studio and the I Am Me Foundation. So please join me in welcoming the singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, engineer, producer and entrepreneur that is Tash Sultana. Welcome to This Is Your Life, basically.
Thank you.
Take a seat, give me a hug. We're backstage. I was like, you're going to hug me, right?
Yeah, everyone's been asking me if I'm nervous.
Are you?
No, I'm just talking about someone I know very well.
Fucking hope you know them well.
Yeah, I think you think you know yourself well until you're like met with some pretty hectic like adversity, and then you're like, who am I really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've definitely, we will get
there.
This is a real talk. Can I get actually a quick show of hands? Hands up if you're an artist. Nice. Hands up if you're a manager. Hands up if you're just a music fan punter, or if you work in the industry in any other capacity. Sick. We kind of want to cover everything and just get real, hey?
Get out while you can.
Now's your chance to leave. Now, buckle in, bitches. Welcome back to Big Sound. So you did perform here a decade ago. You performed in 2015 showcasing, it was the 123 agency showcase. The following year was on the Triple J Unearthed stage. Very different 12 months, everything that followed 2015. How's it feel to be back in the Valley?
Good. Yeah, and so I finished high school in 2013, and for me, high school was a massive waste of time because it took up my rehearsal and gig time. And back then, there's a pre-story to the whole busking sensation thing that the media has run with. Prior to that, I was gigging from 13 years old. I had a fake ID, and my dad would take me to all the venues. And I remember when I was in about year 7 or 8, and I wrote down a list of every single open mic night that was on in Victoria. And I thought, okay, well, I've got to start somewhere. So that's what I did. I'd get my 15-minute slot at all these different open mic nights. My dad would take me there, and that's kind of where it started. And then I'd obviously come to school the next day smelling like the pub, and teachers would be like,
sticky beer
what are
carpet.
you doing? But the busking thing didn't happen until I finished high school. When on my 18th birthday, my dad took me to Billy Hyde Music Store, and he said, you can pick something. So I was trying to decide between a banjo and a loop station. And I picked a loop station, and he said to me, I think you've made a massive mistake, which is quite funny. How it's turned, yeah.
Yeah, good on you for trusting your gut with that one. Good move. We'll get into more of the bus. I've got some great pictures from Burke Street. We'll get into them in a minute. This is your life. This is from Big Sound 2016 on the Unearthed stage. What are your memories of Big Sound? And for the artists in particular in the room, like what can they get out of this week? How do you make the most of Big Sound?
So 2015, when I did my Big Sound showcase, there was probably all of about 5 people in the room. 2016, when I did my showcase, there was a line down the street and it was max capacity and they couldn't get in. So you actually just don't know what's going to happen in really short amounts of time. And the industry, everyone always likes to talk about how the industry has changed. It's constantly changing. It never ever stops changing. And if you're getting your artist, or you're an agent, or you're a manager, and you're modeling things off how it was 5 years ago, how it was pre-COVID, quit now, because you need to evolve, or unfortunately your position and the artist position will just die out. So now there's a bit of a power play, because back when I was starting out, social media wasn't at the forefront. Like, it was kind of secondary to all the other stuff that you would do. It was really important that you had radio plugging. Spotify wasn't around then. It was really important that you were doing stuff on YouTube, because that was like the premier platform back then, long form videos. Facebook was the big one back then too, where people really sat down and they watched a 5-minute video all the way through. Now it's changed, where social media unfortunately has become the thing that we've all got to learn how to be bloody content creators alongside the rest of the shit that we're doing, that who even actually has the time for, right? And then now that's opened up a whole plethora of like social media agencies and blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't matter who you employ to work for you to be a social media manager or team. If you do not know what you stand for as an artist, and you do not have a clear and direct image and story, it's lost. So the most important thing is, inevitably when you're an artist, things turn into a bit of a brand. But if you don't have personality and a personal connection with yourself and your audience, then they're just going to think that you're just trying to sell to them all the time. Like, here's my tour, buy my tickets. Here's my merch, buy this, get this, sign up for that, blah, blah, blah. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
Well, it's interesting, like, you did really start YouTube, Facebook, and when you are starting out, it's like a platform to connect with your audience, but as it has evolved, it's now because you are your brand, you are your product, and you have to sell that. So you're taking on, like a marketing coordinator role, a social media team of yourself. And you were doing that with busking when you were recording your busking sessions, your bedroom jams. You're straight up to YouTube doing the editing. I feel like it's kind of come full circle with YouTube, though. I feel like in a music capacity and consuming music content, a lot of people are going back to YouTube, craving that long form.
YouTube's back. It's amazing. X is fucked.
Yeah, don't go there.
Just fuck that off. Threads is really the revival of Twitter in a meta format. Nah. TikTok changes all the time.
How do you find
Instagram
TikTok?
changes all the time. Never even logged into my own TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Instagram changes all the time. Best thing to do is to follow like high-level curators or CEOs of those platforms who are continuously telling you how the platform has changed and what it's benefiting. Because if you're not working within that framework, then you're not going to get your video traction. It's keywords, hooks. Unfortunately, now it's like, how do I get someone's attention in 15 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
But now it's actually a little bit more like 60 seconds to 90 seconds, which still fucking sucks. But that's where YouTube's really good, because you can film this long content, chop it up and make all this short content that works really well on those platforms that want that, direct everyone over to YouTube. You get royalties from YouTube as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think we should also be getting royalties from Instagram and TikTok for using our songs. Why do all these thousands of people get to use our fucking songs and we don't get paid for it? Come on.
Yep, that's a whole other fucking thing. We need a panel discussion for that.
Yeah, just go live in a fucking cave. Just quit.
I probably shouldn't have to issue a language warning, but we will be saying a lot of swear words. Social media recently for you, though, you've never been one to be super vulnerable on there and just keeping it to the music, but you've had a pretty fucked up couple of weeks, fucked up year.
Fucked up year.
The last few weeks, so I said on the phone to you, how have you found using it to actually be like, not okay, really shit stuff has been going down. How are you?
I am
I actually didn't know if Tash was going to come.
I almost didn't.
Yeah.
So what happened, if you don't know, over the last couple of weeks, a snake bit three of my dogs. I have 4 dogs. Bit 3 of them. My wife got up in the morning and found that they just weren't well. And then she called me and she was like, Chino's dead. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, he's dead. I'm like, he can't be dead. He was fine yesterday. What do you mean? Have they eaten something? They've eaten something. That was my first thought. They've eaten something. So she races them to the vet. I drive down from the Surf Coast to Melbourne, and then it took all of the staff to work on my 3 dogs. And then as soon as they gave them anti-venom, they realised that they were actually dealing with a snake bite because they had a reaction to it straight away. And at that point, I was just like, didn't think that they weren't going to live, you know. So anyway, they get them to a point of stability. The little guy, he was unresponsive all day. He was pretty much dead when my wife found him in the morning. So they said, you can go home. And then they called back like a couple of hours later and they were like, Chino's heart has stopped. We've managed to revive him. We don't know what that's done to his cognitive function and we really recommend that you come back. So we raced there and within 5 minutes of being there, it just all happened again. So they brought us in the room. He was on the table. She's trying to show me that his eyes aren't reacting to the light because he did have a massive seizure that stopped his heart. They were like, but we've got him back. We're breathing for him. As soon as the machine recalibrates, we'll put him back on it. And then we're looking at the monitor and his heartbeat just goes like that. Push me out the room. And, oh yeah, he's a little blue-eyed one there. Chino. He was only 1. They pushed me out the room and they started to try and resus him, and then the vet came out and pretty much just said to me, you got to let him go. Chino's going to go to heaven now. And I just fucking screamed. And then I ran back in the room and I put my hands on him and he died in my hands. And then they took all the tubes out and I actually fell to the ground because I was just in so much shock and so much grief that I just was screaming out like, no, 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 do something. And yeah, it was fucked. So then I was just cradling his body for a couple of hours afterwards, and his little blue eyes, they weren't blue anymore, they were gone. And then we went home and I just stood outside and just screamed at the fucking moon pretty much. And then it just kept continuing on for 5 days afterwards with the other 2 dogs, and then they were like, you know, Chili's not looking very good, and then she started having seizures, and then she went into acute kidney failure, and then, you know.
So did you bring Chili and Billy both home, or was Chili still at the vet?
Chili's gone.
But was still at the vet?
They were both still at the vet.
Okay, yeah.
So we had 1 in the morgue, 2 alive.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, they just said there's not going to be a return for her and you can try kidney dialysis. And I just thought, well, I'm just fucking going to go all the way. We're already here. And that didn't do anything. It wasn't going to do anything, but I just wanted to try for that tiny little bit of hope that you do. Well, these are my children, you know. I don't want kids. I want dogs. And yeah, so she died in my arms too. So Chino died on the Friday the 15th and Chili died on Wednesday the 20th. And then Billy was still in there until the Monday. And it's the worst grief that I've ever experienced in my life. And like, I've been to rehab, I've had friends die, I've had family die, I've had my whole life rearranged and turned upside down millions of times, and very bad mental health and psychosis and mania. But this, whoa, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that all happens, and you're like, oh, your grandfather's probably going to die as well, so you should go see him. So we're pretty much going in between the vet to the nursing home and back, and then I'm just standing there like, how the fuck am I going to go on play these shows that I've got at the end of the year? I've got BIGSOUND next week. How the fuck am I going to do that? Do I even want to do that?
Yeah.
You know, like the brain just stopped working.
You were bombarded with messages from your followers.
Yeah. It's been a fucked year. Like, my wife had cancer earlier in the year as well, so it's just been like, what's next? You know?
Yeah, it's like Saturn return on fucking crack, and you've turned 30 this year.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tash. But with being able to connect to your audience like that, and given it's not something that you've always done in that way, worth it though?
Yeah, I think
better for it?
Well, I want people to know the stories behind the music as well, because I left a lot up into interpretation because I didn't give a fuck about having a media presence. And what that did was the media came up with its own ideas, and it just created this full storyline of this drug-taking, smelly hippie, whatever. And I'm firstly not taking drugs anymore. I'm sharing heaps more than I used to as well, you know. But there's so much more than just that. Yeah. And that was 10 years ago, which was also a really difficult time too, because I was so young and not prepared. Like, you're not prepared for the breakthrough, and your team is not prepared for the breakthrough either. Unless they've done it before and they have the facilities in place to be able to navigate that, we're all just trying to work out what the fuck's going on when you have that moment, like agents, managers, artists, like we're just like, what do we do? You've gone from playing to 250 people, now to playing to thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. You got no media training. You probably should go to rehab, which I did, and I ended up going to rehab. And it was just fucked. It was fucked time.
But you're still, here we are, and we can reflect on it. The team aspect I'm very keen to touch on a little bit later down, because your team, I mean, Regan first saw you play in like 2011.
Yep, still is not wearing shoes.
Well, oi, look at you here. Let's go to Burke Street, baby.
I would have been 19 there.
Really? So talk us through a day of busking. What does it entail?
So with this particular setup that I had going on here, I don't know if you guys can see the bottom left-hand image guitar case. See those coins in there? Yep. That was about all that was happening then. Just about $3.50 if you're lucky. So I started busking like this, and I realized that it wasn't actually doing anything at all. It had no impact whatsoever. So then I was just like, how the fuck am I going to make a music career if people don't give a shit about listening to the music that I'm doing right now? So then I figured like, well, I need to be louder. So I bought a little PA, and I got a car battery, and I connected the car battery with an inverter to like a power rack, and plugged in a mix desk and plugged in a PA, and sometimes I took a sub, and I was like, this is going to be fucking loud. It was so loud. And then I started, this is the setup here. So you can see down the bottom the car battery and the inverter. Then instead of the acoustic guitar, I took the electric guitar out that I hadn't played for many years and connected it to my loop station, and then started making some loops on the street and just freestyling over the top, and that just, I don't know, it stopped the street. So then I thought, I'm kind of onto a little bit of a formula here. And that's where the pedals just came in. And that's where all the other instruments kind of came in. I just was like, how many things can I possibly connect right now? And blah, blah, blah. And it worked. I used to get the council coming down multiple times a day saying, if you don't turn this down, we're going to give you a fine. And then Yarra trams kicked off because there'd be so many people coming to watch my set that the trams couldn't get through Burke Street.
Oh my God, so like before Mecca opened, like just a few weeks ago,
I don't even know what's on
you were
Burke
already
Street.
like blocking out Burke Street. That's iconic.
I don't even know what's on Burke Street anymore.
It looks different. It looks different to this. But I mean, you're looking at this setup. So you're essentially creating your music. The way in which you're approaching it is primarily based around how you're going to busk it.
Yeah. So there's a little mix desk there. So I was mixing it, powering, case open, little loop station was on the ground. This is pretty early stages, so this would have been 2014, I reckon.
Yeah. And so at that time too, the other buskers, I mean, Pierce Brothers were busking around that time too, so they're your little neighbours down the other end of the mall. Is that how it's like?
Just as loud.
Just as loud?
Yep, same ethos, car battery, inverter.
Oh, really?
Fuck yeah. Once we figured that out, the whole street was just fucking going off.
Have you noticed a skill set crossover with how you approach? So, because beyond that act of busking, it is obviously the production setup and whatnot, but even when you're looking at how you're going to entice this audience, and when you look at the kinds of people, that is a mixed people. Like, that's not one particular demographic that's coming to see you.
Yeah.
And the way that also then went on to translate through the actual headline shows that you were doing in venues. Oh, we got a baby Tash. Sorry, fast forward.
Yep, I would have been all of about 3 there. I actually based my signature strat off that photo of that plastic guitar.
Is this the one you got from Fred?
No, this is just a little ukulele. I was about 1.5 here.
Oh, right. Baby Tash. I want to go back to the busking though. Hang on. But yeah, my question with I don't know how to use this fucking clicker. It's all right. With how you kind of approach busking as a business to what you're doing now with all of your business ventures and being able to look back on that, can you see a crossover in the skill set and what you've actually taken from busking to apply now?
Comes from my dad.
All right.
Comes from my dad. My dad is an immigrant. He came over in the 70s. When they came to Australia, they lived in a caravan, 8 people. And they collected cans, they mowed lawns, they cleaned cars, they cleaned bricks. They learned the language, they learned a trade. And my dad is pretty illiterate, but he can fucking build anything. He can reverse engineer anything. So that ethos was drummed into me from my lineage, you know, that you can't rely on anyone, you must do everything on your own. So the idea was, how much can I do on my own? How much can I learn by myself? How far can I take this as one singular person? And now that's worked out really well because I know how to build my rig. I can mix my stuff. I can master my stuff. I can play all the instruments that I want on the record. I've got a really good brain for strategy and marketing and curation and art and business, and how do I turn $1 into $100 into 10,000, 100,000, millions, right? At 21, I was a millionaire. And
were you really?
Yeah, at 21 years old, I was a millionaire. And only 2 years before that, I was busking.
That's wild.
Yes.
Yeah, clap that. Okay, didn't know that. The self-sufficiency, is remarkable because, like you said, performing, your own tech crew, your own marketing and social media, and when it is, and if, you know, we understand the fixation on the busking, but as you said, open mic nights from when you were 13, playing literally all the venues, Penny Black, everywhere.
Everywhere.
There were council competitions to literally win studio record time at Sing Sing. You can win 48 hours recording time. So you were going beyond the busking. So does it annoy you if people, and we're going to go to the J word soon, but with busking, that sole fixation on people just thinking it was just a busking
Yeah, I
venture?
think the busking idea is maybe when people knew me for the first time, but there was a whole pre-story before that. Is I kind of think of the busking thing as it's a overnight sensation, 20 years in the making.
Yes.
You know, this video that's not even very good just happened to go viral. It's not even good. It sounds like shit. It's not even a fucking stereo recording. It's just mono. That's a crime. But it just, I don't know, it just did something, and I've just been doing something for my whole life that I didn't realize was kind of not normal, which was just not following the crowd. Even when I was at school, if there was a cool group of people, I was fucking anti that. I was just a drifter and I was friends with everybody. And the same thing with growing a business as well. It's always in opposition to what I hate. So I'm going to create a business because I fucking hate how that's run over there, and it shouldn't be, and it's kind of the defiance in me, and that's how we're going to do it over there. And with Lonely Lands Agency that I did with my manager Regan, who's here, just there, still not wearing shoes. And
wait, have you got shoes on, Regan?
No.
Are you raw dogging it right now? Brother, I didn't even notice.
I think of something else when you say raw dog, but that's not for today's conversation.
Am I the only one who thinks of it also? Don't people say for barefoot you raw dog it? On
No,
Instagram? I've seen Flex Mummy do it.
They say if you barebacking. Oh, we won't go there.
All right,
But anyway.
let's not. Let's find another photo of Tash. Well, I'm hoping this is...
Jadden Comerford is also the other business partner to Lonely Lands Agency, so he's the head of Unified, which probably a lot of people in here are familiar with.
And they signed you 2016.
No.
Was it
Lonely
2016?
Lands Agency is my agency that
Lemon
I
Tree.
started. Lemon Tree is Regan over there.
Yes.
We've been working together since 2014.
Yes.
Yes, but I'm not with Unified.
No.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't mean that. No.
Yeah.
I know that.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, I know that. Independent. So we've gone from busking. So were you also, I mean, obviously busking to this, casually Red Rocks, awesome. It is genuinely awesome. With the audience, so that when you're busking though, are you keeping tabs on the kind of people who are returning and who's staying? Like, are you kind of making your own creating your own insights and analytics based on your performance?
Yeah, people would literally schedule like their work lunch hours over when I would be busking, and I also got really familiar with the homeless people in Melbourne as well, because they would come, and then we kind of worked out little deals with each other, which was, if you watch my stuff, make sure no one's stealing anything, because people love to try and steal the cash out of there all the time. I would like pay them a wage just to watch, or like get them lunch and stuff like that. So that was a big part of the community back then. And then recently I saw a guy that was homeless when I was busking, and we hadn't seen each other since then. And he was just like, holy fuck, like, you've done so well. And I was just like, how are you? And he wasn't homeless anymore.
Oh my God, that's sick. That's the kind of thing that you'd look back on and I'd be like, thinking of that top of like things you're most proud of, and you think of obviously this success, the charts, and you know, Triple J play, Hottest 100 success, you're streaming, but that shit is like coming back. That is like essentially so core to return to the roots.
But it's also, we were talking the other day, I was saying, you can do all this, right? And then in my mind, I'm kind of tied up with like, but that person won 6 ARIAs, and this person over here got Grammy nominations, and that one over there is charting in the billboards, and they're playing the Kia Forum in LA, and then it's kind of like looking externally at what other people are doing. How do you measure your internal success for the things that you have done and still have time to do, and what kind of time signature you're on? Like, are you in a rush to get there, or have you got time to get there? Or maybe that's just not for you right now. Maybe you're just not that artist right now, or ever. Maybe that's not your niche. Maybe you're not meant to be mainstream LA pop gloss, and you're actually meant to be everything but that, and then it works in your favor. How do you measure success? When can you sit back and go, actually, I have made it? And I realize that I've been spending a lot of time lately. I've only realized this very recently as well, when my life got turned upside down. And I was like, I have actually made it. I've made it. I made it.
Yeah.
I've made it. I can measure my success right here and say, I have had a successful music career. I haven't done everything that I want to do yet, but I did eventually make it in the end.
I would
Like,
shake you silly if you
good.
said otherwise.
It's good to go now.
Yeah,
You know?
but don't you think, I guess especially with the all the personal hardships, and that kind of does bring in a new perspective as to what is success for me and what am I at peace with currently. And I'm sure your idea of success in 2015, for example, is very different to what it is now.
Very different.
Yeah. So if I am to ask you, what is your idea of success right now? How would you
now?
answer it?
I have a great career with heaps of potential still.
Yep.
I'm selling tickets in this climate. That's really fucking difficult to sell tickets in, because we can barely go and buy a bloody avocado, let alone, you know, sell out a venue.
And for you to say that as an established artist who in 1 year sold 500,000 tickets globally,
Yes.
is pretty sobering.
In 2019, pre-COVID, 500,000 tickets in a year. Amazing. Post-COVID, doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And then when you think that you've got the hit song, everything's pumping, your career's going like this, you think that it's just going to continue going like that. I thought that it was just going to continue going like that, and that is so not what happened. It went like this, and then over there, and then fucking this way as well. And now I'm like somewhere out there. And because you're in the public eye, right? And your career is very public, and you got to You know, you got to be present and constant while also being a person who's dealing with tragedy and grief and adversity at the same time. And I haven't wanted to play guitar right now. I haven't wanted to answer an email right now. I haven't wanted to get on the fucking phone. I haven't wanted to go overseas or do anything. I've just wanted to be alone, and I want my dogs to magically reappear alive again, you know, and that's just not reality when we're trying to blend logic, reality, emotion all together like that. And they don't all fit together sometimes.
Yeah, and when we consider these hardships and then these circumstances out of our control, so I guess using COVID as an example and how much that did obviously shift the live music scene, and how when you were just saying that you thought you were just going to keep going,
yes.
Was there also ever a moment of, dare I say, complacency? Did you ever get too comfortable and were just like, yeah, it's like...
Well, yeah, when it was just doing this, right, at just this crazy pace, and you think you're better than you actually are, you know?
What was
you
it
get
like?
a rude shock when you see someone who's doing better than you, and you're just like, what? That's meant to be me. Why the fuck is it you? You know? I've learned some very, very tough lessons over the last few years and matured a lot, because the success for me happened when I was very, very young. How the hell are you meant to know who you are at 20, 21 years old normally? And then when you've got millions of people saying, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, I hate you, go and die, I'm going to kill you when you come back to America. And then you've got these ones over here that are like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then they're like stalking you and they're flying drones after you and following.
You've had that happen?
Yeah, this is true stories, yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just a musician, man. And back then I was a musician with a very, very curious mind who loved to push the boundaries of human consciousness by taking lots of psychedelic drugs and then becoming a millionaire at that same time, and then ended up in rehab.
So this is 2016?
This is 2016.
All right, so we'll go there. Things are picking up on the radio front with Gemini, with Notion. Then I guess it was September 2016 where Jungle... I was like scared to say the word because I know. Oh yeah, do you want to know my favorite song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Brainflower.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Brainflower was the single that Tash had in 2015, but it's not on any streaming services.
It's on purpose.
It's on what?
It's on purpose.
Why?
Because I'm going to re-release all that old music that did really well. I don't waste the things that I write. I repurpose them and find a home for them, especially when there was already such a magnitude behind them and they had a thing. But back then I didn't have the...
Does anyone know Brainflower? Fake fans. I'm your best fan. Nah, it's so good. And when I think of your music, all that comes in my head is like, ooh, na, 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 on and on and on, to the break of dawn, yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm back with you. So Jungle though, and I've been very particular like in my research and just seeing how you talk about it. And again, it's the hyperfixation because yes, in a sense, a breakthrough, but does not define your whole career. What is your relationship with that song?
I'm very grateful for the fact that it just did what I needed it to do back then. It's not my favorite song. I didn't even think anything about it when I wrote it. It just like took off and went crazy.
You didn't think this could be like the one, or like I'd be surprised if this doesn't get...
Every single song that I write and I'm like, this is the one. It's not.
It's not. So that one took you by surprise?
Yeah.
Do you remember those moments of when it was like, I guess, added to rotation and then...
I couldn't go anywhere.
Really?
No, I couldn't go anywhere.
Did it happen like that for you, the changes,
like,
or you just noticed it over a few
back
months?
then, when Jungle was just like everywhere, it was on like every radio station, it was played multiple times a day, it was on ads, it was on TV, it was here, it was there. I couldn't fucking escape it, and I also couldn't escape the public as well. So everywhere I went was just a punish, because it was phones out, filming me, interrupting me when I'm on a date with my partner, and like dealing with like drunk people that just want to be drunk and at you, and it was just a lot. Like I ended up actually getting really bad social anxiety from that and not wanting to go out anymore. So I stopped going out. I just stopped going anywhere. I didn't want to do anything anymore. And my mental health back then was really bad. It was bad before all this happened, but this just made it whoop.
Really?
Yeah, fuck yeah. We cancelled tours and shit. I went to Byron Bay and did a rehab stint in the Byron Bay Health Lodge facility. I was literally insane.
Getting rinsed, you're in rehab.
No, I was literally insane. Like, I had mania. It lasted for 9 months. It was fucked.
I don't know what to say.
No, it was really fucked.
I just had no idea.
Well, you remember it. You were there. It was fucked.
All too well. The contrast is...
How the fuck do you go on tour and play all these shows in front of hundreds of thousands of people when you fucking put your pants on backwards and you want to die?
Well, how did you get back to doing it?
I don't even know. I just did it. And a similar thing happened to me again in 2022, where it kind of like came back on. And I still managed to do the tour. I don't know how. And then I had another little kind of flare up of that side of me fairly recently on the last night of the tour I just did in June. I was about to go on stage and I thought someone drugged me because I had this massive panic attack. I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. I ended up calling the paramedics in the room because I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. And they're like checking my vitals and they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, no, but I am. And it was just anxiety. And I've realized very recently, after being in this really traumatic space of losing people, like this year has been crazy. Like, my wife got cancer and then the dogs died like that. And then, I had my auntie died, my cousin died, my grandfather's on the way out. And it's like, what the fuck's next?
Yeah.
And I realized that I've been suppressing a really big emotional part of myself for a really fucking long time by not enabling myself to feel feelings to the full extent. I've been going around them and over them and pushing them aside and living fast-paced to not be distracted by them because I just don't want to do anything but go through them. And then now there's no choice. I didn't cry for 3 years because I'm not a crier. And all I've done in the last couple of weeks is fucking cry.
Yeah.
Just cry. And I feel like a profound rearranging. And it made me realize a lot of shit that I just hadn't been dealing with. And it's interesting. I'm going to write a really good album.
Oh, I was going to say,
I'm going to write a really good album.
For the plot.
I can give you the title of the album now, actually.
Yeah.
Sonic Alchemy.
Ooh, oh, is that the title?
Yes.
Ooh, exclusive.
Yeah.
Sonic Alchemy.
Better not change it by the time it comes out.
Someone write an article right now. Don't put it on X. But when we talk, so it's interesting because like when we talk about music as an outlet, as an escapism, and obviously for your fans, I mean, you hear the stories of how your music has helped them, but then like your own personal approach and the way that you deal with things. So you were at a point where you cannot make your own music to help you?
Like, I kind of took on the position of the healer for a bit, and took on a position of being this like strong, confident persona that's not really fazed by much. And that is me. It's part of me. There's parts of me. There's more parts of me that I've realized recently that need attention and nurturing and space to just be the human experience. Is the fear of fear. As soon as you overcome the fear of fear, it's looking great over there. It's looking pretty good the way that I'm going, where my heart's going right now. Are you okay with curling up in a ball and thinking the world's going to end and that your life is over and everything is fucked and you got nothing to look forward to? If you're okay with that, you can fucking get past anything. You can get past anything.
And going back to, in a professional sense, the self-sufficiency, but in a personal sense, and when you are it's your music, your brand, you're the face, you're the voice, but the wider team aspect, how has it been navigating that and, having Regan and Jaden and Olivia and the wider network kind of step in and help you along the way and for you to kind of let go and allow people to help you?
Well, I would say the entire team has an issue with letting go and and then palming things off to other people because we're kind of like multiples of a very similar work ethic structure. So like we're all really committed and we're going to go there in our own department. That's where it works really, really well. And like, you're going to work weekends, you're going to work late nights, you're going to take calls at 1 a.m. If you want a 9-to-5 job that pays super and you get holidays, go be a fucking teacher, because this is not the industry. Like, you could get a call at 3 a.m. from, I don't know, someone in Germany saying, hey, we're adding your song to sync and we really want to talk to you about a licensing deal because we think that blah, 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 blah. Or, hey, we've caught wind of this, it's going really, really well on TikTok and we want to talk to you about a record deal. Or, hey, have you got management? And those messages come at all sorts of time because the world is big. Australia is a small market. There is less people in this entire country than there is in the state of California. So I would suggest, if you as an artist or if you're looking after an artist, you need to venture outside of your playground, because Australia, you hit like a ceiling. And that's honestly, I think, due to like our economy and the fact that our population is not very big. It's kind of hard to continually like massage this territory here and come back and do these huge, huge tours. But over in America, Latin America, North America, Central America, you can go over to Asia, which is a territory that we're really focused on servicing at the moment in Lonely Lands Agency. So obviously we look after Australia, we look after New Zealand, but Asia is like our next big thing. And we mean business. We're here to really help curate and break artists and put them in front of the right audiences, because that is key. But the world is a big place. And if Australia is really not like moving the needle for you or your artists, I would really suggest that you pack up your fucking bags and go overseas and see what happens.
Well, speaking on that, I remember reading Jadon was talking about the commitment required to break internationally, and specifically when we're talking about North America, South America, Canada. There was a year, I think you had 4 trips to go. The team was locked in on that, or on breaking through, and that does obviously require a physical presence. But can you kind of expand on, I guess you cannot underestimate the commitment that is required in order to break there, because not everyone can do it.
I have played so many shows that I did not want to do out of pure and utter fucking exhaustion, and shaken hands with people that probably didn't fucking deserve a handshake at the end of the day. And I've networked with everyone. I've gone here and I've gone there. And it got me to a point when I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to any of these industry things anymore. I'm not doing any of that shit. I've still never been to the ARIAs, even though I've won ARIAs.
Have you not been to the ARIAs?
No, never.
No way. Well,
never been.
hopefully, if I do the red carpet again this year, you can come and we can chat again.
See what I got on.
They feed you, they give you a meal now. Okay. I think there was a year that they had like rows, so you sat in rows and there was like an esky at the end of each row. Yeah. And I think everyone was just like, it was like apocalyptic. Yeah.
You got to commit. If you really want this, you got to commit. You got to commit to the showcases where 3 people showed up, because you don't know who out of those 3 people is who. That could be a really shit hot manager that you just never heard of before. And that's what happened with me. I got in the room, any room that would have me, even if it was just for a pint of beer, or I sold like 3 CDs and went home with $15. It was still $15 more than I had like the day before. All of that counted, because it's like, it's pieces to the whole pie. To go out and busk and go out and do these open mic nights, and then you meet these people and they're like, hey, come on tour with us. You'd be a great support act. Yeah, I'll do it for $150, no worries. I just needed somewhere to sleep. Oh yeah, you can stay at my house. And then you keep doing that, you get in these circles, you meet the publicists, the radio presenters, the agents, the junior promoters, and all these people that are like on the up with you, that in 10 and 15, 20 years time become the key players. You have to put yourself everywhere and do absolutely everything alongside social media. It never used to be like that. That was what you used to have to do. Maybe you'd talk about it on social media. Now, it's kind of, hate to say it, social media first. So I hate to say it, it's not my design, but knowing how to operate in that ecosystem is really, really crucial.
You think that's the biggest issue that the industry is facing and that artists are facing?
I think labels don't know what the fuck to do anymore, because you can just service yourself online. You know what I mean? Like I could upload a reel, right? I can make that reel go viral. I can make you give a fuck about it. Because I can put a couple of $1,000 or a couple of $100,000 behind the marketing of this song, and you're going to see it and hear it absolutely everywhere, and then now you give a fuck about it. That's what labels do. They take the art from the turning door of artists that come through. Some of them will sign a fart if it'll fucking get a stream paid. Literally, they will. If someone gets this artist and they're like, okay, you got everything. We're going to pump you up and put all of our resources into you for the next 18 months and you're going to be the next big thing. They put $1 million into the servicing of one particular song and you see it everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, ads, radio, playlisting. You're going to give a fuck about it. It's all money. Like it's hard to be an organic artist that doesn't have access to those facilities that you have to do first. It's kind of rare that a label will kind of pick someone now and develop a breaking artist. That kind of model is a little bit dead. But you can break yourself and then people give a shit. So if you like putting you got talent, showcase that talent. I used to put videos online. I still do. It works really well. Sells tickets, gets the movement happening. I'm always appealing to engaging a new audience. My mind is set on how am I appealing to a new audience, because your old and existing audience, they might come and see you 2, 3, 4 times and then they might not come and see you anymore because they don't feel the need to because they've already done that. So that's where it's really important to like keep expanding and keep expanding and keep expanding. And social media gives you the key in your hand to do that and create your viral moment. And then after you have that happen, all of a sudden, everyone gives a shit. And they want you to fucking wear this shirt. Can you put a post on here? Can you come to this party over there? Can we hire a private jet and fly you over to this dude's fucking wedding in Switzerland so you play for blah, blah, blah? Like, that shit goes on all the time. But it just takes the one viral moment for people to then go, oh, I care.
But there's hope in knowing that there is still capacity to break yourself. That's
yeah,
what I'm
I
getting
think
from
so.
this.
But it's just the model is really different. I think instead of relying on all these other external forces, agents, promoters, managers, you eventually need them. They help a lot, right? You need a team. But you can curate yourself and your story and your image and your moments from your bedroom right now by just put the camera on. Just upload something because you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know if you guys, the most viewed video on TikTok has like over 1 billion streams. It is some girl in a car with a bit of wind blowing in her hair. She's mouthing the lyrics to a Bob Marley song. That's it.
You just got to turn the camera on.
That's fucking it.
Yeah.
That's it. What did she do? I don't know her personally. Maybe she does a lot, but like...
I'm sure she's nice.
Well, no, now she has a whole ass career.
Yeah. And it starts from that. Are we wrapping up? Fuck. I literally have 2 more pages of questions. But I think
this was going to happen.
Hey, I'll just like lock you up there. Interrogation, ask you all the questions. But I think that's amazing advice to finish on, and it's hopeful, and there's still a lot to be hopeful about. Congratulations on Return to the Roots, the EP. Very quickly, how does it feel returning to the roots and coming back to these parts of yourself that you may have felt like you lost along the way?
I didn't have a choice. It happened for me. Yeah, it just happened for me. Yeah.
And sometimes that does happen. But I guess finish on, you've got shows coming up. I fucking hope that you're able to look after yourself in the lead up to those. Considering everything that's happened recently this year, but also previous shows where you've kind of just look after yourself?
I think the shows mean more now. Yeah. I'll see you in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
Here, actually.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much, Tash, for coming. So nice to have a full circle Big Sound moment with you. And I hope you guys were able to take many a thing from this conversation. Enjoy the rest of your Big Sound. Thank you so much.